Quick question. Is it possible to predict future success by whether or not you eat a marshmallow? Yes, this is a real question, and it's based off a landmark study conducted at Stanford University in 1972. Labeled the Stanford Marshmallow Experiment, what these scientists did is brought in a bunch of kids and offered them a choice. Now, the choice for these 5-year-olds was this. First, you can eat the marshmallow sitting right in front of you. Or if you wait 15 minutes and they had to wait with that marshmallow sitting right in front of them, we will give you 2. In a nutshell, what we're talking about here is instant versus delayed gratification. Are you going to eat that marshmallow right in front of you and be instantly satisfied, or can you wait 15 minutes and get a bigger return? Now, the immediate results weren't that interesting. About half the kids immediately ate the marshmallow. The other half, they sang themselves songs, they distracted themselves, but they waited and they got 2 marshmallows. Now, the interesting part is what happened to these kids over the next 20 to 30 years. It turns out that the kids that were able to delay gratification, resist the marshmallow, were able to live more successful lives. And by success, I'm talking about quantifiable factors. So their SAT scores, whether or not they were able to get into certain colleges, their BMI, how much money they're earning. What they found is that success, as measured by those indicators, was more likely for people that could delay gratification. So are you going to be rich? Are you going to be successful? Are you going to be able to achieve your dreams? That's what I'm talking about in today's video, as we talk about the habits that millionaires, that successful people have, and that a lot of people that aren't successful seem to ignore. Now, today's video, gents, is brought to you by my friends over at Upstart. They make it easy to be able to get a personal loan so you can pay off your high-interest debt. Whether it's paying off credit cards, consolidating high-interest debt, or funding personal expenses, guys, over 500,000 people have used Upstart to get a simple, fixed monthly payment. And what I personally love about Upstart is they find you the best rates with their partners by looking at more than just your credit score. Guys, with a 5-minute online rate check, you can see rates upfront for loans from $1,000 to $50,000. You can get approved the same day, and you can receive funds as quickly as 1 business day. If debt is taking over your life, it's time to get a fresh start with Upstart. So to get started, gents, and to find out how Upstart can lower your monthly payment today, go to upstart.com/RMRS. Now, loan amounts will be determined based on your credit, income, and certain other information provided in your loan application. Again, gents, that's upstart.com/RMRS. And don't forget to use our link so that they know that I sent you. The next habit I've noticed about really successful people, they don't eat food that comes in through their car window. On top of that, I notice when these guys are shopping in the grocery store, they don't go to the center of the store. They avoid it. They stay on the outside. They go over to the vegetables. They go over to the meats. They go over to the fresh foods that have to be refrigerated, ones that have an expiration date. They stay away from all those processed foods in the center of the store. Obviously, what I'm talking about here is successful people pay attention to what they put into their bodies. They understand you are what you eat. You only have one body and you need to take care of it. I know, sounds obvious, sounds common sense, but how many of you out there are actually doing it? I'll admit, I wasn't until I started tracking my food. And all of a sudden, once I'm tracking my food, once I'm measuring everything that's going into my body, and I start to understand where carbs are coming from, I understand how much protein this has, I understand everything that's going in. You can always be getting better. And here's the thing, the people at the top, the successful guys I've noticed that are just killing it, they're also paying attention to their body because they realize, hey, the more I take care of my body, the more energy I'm going to have to be able to focus in on what matters in my life. Next up, rich and successful people don't play other people's games. They play their own. They play a rigged game that's rigged in their favor. And that may not sound honest, but guess what? Life is a series of games. And let's take business. You want to be rich. You want to be successful in your field. Well, guess what? If you're working for somebody else, there's always going to be a cap. There's always going to be a limit on how much you can earn. But if you were to become a co-owner, find a way to actually profit share or to get a salary that's based off of performance, or maybe go off and start your own business. Many different ways to do this, but all of a sudden your income is going to be tied to factors that go beyond just simply how many hours you put in, but also how you perform, how you're able to produce. And this applies, in my opinion, to the nonprofit world as well. So many people don't think about it that way, but we were trying to find something as a family that we could contribute to in our area. And I had trouble finding a company that would actually value my family's time and make time for us. So we started up our own deal. We actually found ways to contribute to our community that we controlled. We could have bigger impact. And that's what I'm talking about. No matter what industry you're in, if you can control the game, all of a sudden you can write the rules and you can make sure that things consistently fall in your favor. The next indicator that you're going to be successful, that you're going to be rich, you do not lie to yourself. Okay, what I'm talking about here is you are brutally honest with where you're at, what you've achieved, and you actually seek out criticism from people you respect to be able to tell you the truth, to be able to help spot the problems that you're not seeing. And this is key because it's very difficult for us when we work hard to be able to take criticism, negative feedback, because we feel that we've put our heart and soul into this project, into getting that watch company off the ground. We want to be an artist and we think our artwork is top notch. And it's tough to accept that criticism, especially from somebody who gets it and is still saying that we can be better. But here's the thing, they see and they're telling you this because they probably think that you have the potential to achieve more. You've got to have the courage, the ability to accept that. I'm going to call the other day, very successful YouTuber, helping out a smaller YouTuber. And the smaller YouTuber is all upset because his friends and family have said his channel is awesome. And larger YouTubers trying to point out that's why you're not getting any views. And there's a reason why after 50 videos, the algorithm isn't showing you any love. That YouTuber big YouTuber knew what he was talking about, one of the top guys in the game. And you just see this guy getting emotionally charged that somebody is attacking his baby, his creations, and doesn't see his vision. But here's the thing, the world is not fair. And you've got to understand that if you want to be successful, you've got to be honest, at least with yourself. The next sign that you're going to be successful, that you're going to be rich, you understand economics and the theory of risk aversion. No, just kidding. You don't have to understand that theory, but I think what you do understand here is that people are scared of loss. This is natural. It's kept us alive for thousands of generations because, hey, if there were, you thought you heard something out in the grass and it turns out not to be a wild animal and you were wrong, guess what? You were just wrong. Versus if you were wrong not to react to that, you're dead. So there is a there was a time period when you had to watch out for that stuff. Guess what? Nowadays in today's society, we're being overwhelmed with false scares, with things that really aren't that bad. And when people see a mathematical, say it's a 50% option on this investment, you'll make money, 50% option, you'll lose money, same amount each way. Guess what? Most people will not take that bet. So how can you actually maybe get the odds to go a little bit more in your favor? And if you can, you got a little bit of insider information, how can you still deal with that risk aversion? Okay, there's still a 1 in 3 chance this is going to fail, a 1 in 4 chance. Here's the thing, successful people that I see, they're able to remove the emotion and they're able to say, okay, there is still a 75% chance this will succeed. There's a 60% chance this succeed. I'm going to spread my bets out. And statistically, I should come out ahead. Now, I do think how to be able to be risk averse is actually to have a solid foundation. So make sure that you've got the little things taken care of, like your expenses. You've got an emergency fund out for a year. You've got your expenses down. I know for me, giving myself runway, that has allowed me to be a lot more risk averse with other investments I've made in other companies that are now starting to reap benefits. So that's what I notice about really successful rich people is that they're able to, again, give themselves that comfort and set up that barrier, that bubble that they've got, and then they're able to take their other investments and remove the emotion and say, you know what? Yeah, this has a 65% chance of achieving success. I'm going to go ahead and put my money there and I'll spread that out over 10 bets, and over time, over the spread, I should actually get a pretty good return. Another common factor I've noticed around very successful rich people is that they have good etiquette and good manners. Not all of them, but the vast majority. And what I notice about this is it's their ability to understand other human beings, because that's really what manners are. It's about making other people feel comfortable around you. Successful people realize they can't do things on their own. You're not an island. You need, if you're going to start a company, you need a team. You need people that are going to work with you, are going to follow you, are going to take that company to heights that you could never take it by yourself. If you want to be successful in society, you want to get that nonprofit up off the ground, you're going to need to work with other people, with bankers, people in different industries, people from different, parts of society, even different countries, and you're going to need to master a way to interact with them and for them to like you in those interactions. Gents, manners maketh the man, and they can affect your bottom line. The next sign that you're going to be successful, you don't give up. You understand that obstacles are there to stop other people, not you. You're going to find a way to become the man you know yourself to be. Me personally, I went through a bankruptcy almost a decade ago, one of the most painful experiences of my life. You want to hear about it? Guys, I talk about that right in this video here. I go through the details, talk about how it felt, how actually how you go through it, all the things that happened. It was quite the experience, and I'm happy to share it with you here because I think that you guys can learn from my mistakes, from the things that actually made me who I am. So check out this video right here. I think it's one of my best.